All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a pretty fascinating dynamic in South Florida real estate, specifically looking through the lens of Mora Realty Hollywood. We're going to explore what a truly personalized, integrated approach actually looks like out there in the real world. And honestly, we'll see why the sheer size of the agency you hire might matter in a completely different way than you'd expect. Right off the bat, we've got to ask a totally critical question. Who do you truly trust with your next major life move? In an industry that is just absolutely dominated by these massive mega brokerages where you get bounced from an intake coordinator to a junior assistant to a transaction manager, what actually happens when you strip all of that extra layer away? So today, we're setting up the core contrast of this whole analysis. We're looking at the heavily insulated corporate machine versus the uncompromising single point of contact local expert. Section 1, the Hollywood micro market. I absolutely love this quote from the source material. Hollywood is a market of micro neighborhoods. It really hits the nail on the head because it proves that small, hyper-local details are what dictate success here. You simply cannot take a broad South Florida brush, paint it over this market, and expect to get accurate pricing, zoning, or investment data. I mean, what works 3 streets inland might be fundamentally completely different from what works right on the coastline. You need that granular, street-level context to actually understand a property's true value. So, Mora Realty covers highly specific coastal corridors and neighborhoods. We're talking Hollywood Beach, the highly sought-after North Beach neighborhood of Hollywood, Florida, right down through Hollywood Lakes, Emerald Hills, and even stretching out into Dania Beach, Hallandale Beach, Aventura, and Fort Lauderdale. But why does this exact geography matter so much? Well, in specific pockets like North Beach, variables like pricing strategies, really strict HOA rules, and complex insurance requirements can literally shift dramatically from one block to the next. It's like navigating a giant puzzle. Having a dedicated local agent who walks these exact streets every single day, that means way fewer surprises at closing and a much stronger negotiating position for you, whether you're listing a high-rise condo or hunting down a boutique storefront. Section 2. Integrated real estate expertise. Now, this is a perfect illustration of the power behind an integrated real estate practice. Handling residential, commercial, and rentals entirely under one roof is a huge strategic advantage. It means a small business owner can buy their very first retail storefront and in that exact same unified conversation, seamlessly figure out what the upper floor residential units will realistically rent for in the current market. You aren't bouncing between a commercial broker who doesn't quite get residential leases and a residential agent who can't read a commercial capitalization rate. And by the way, a cap rate is basically just your expected rate of return on an investment property. Instead of all that back and forth, you get one cohesive, fully integrated view of your entire investment. But, the underlying philosophies required for these different services couldn't be more distinct. More handles both, sure, but treats them with the exact respect they require. A residential move is inherently super emotional, right? It's all about lifestyle fit, checking out school districts, and that undeniable gut feeling you get when you walk through the front door of your dream home. Commercial deals, on the other hand, are decided strictly on the math. It requires rigorous, cold, data-driven logic to make sure the venture is actually profitable, which actually leads us perfectly into the financial realities of those specific transactions. Section 3. The Commercial Math Matrix. So commercial math isn't just about glancing at a price tag. It's about evaluating a highly complex matrix of variables. Mora Realty really scrutinizes the strict local zoning requirements, the exact municipal parking ratios, and the intense hidden costs of hurricane code retrofits that can totally blindside a new investor. Plus, they're constantly tracking microtrends happening along major arteries like Federal Highway and Hollywood Boulevard. A slight miscalculation on a parking ratio or forgetting to budget for a mandatory hurricane retrofit can drastically swing a commercial deal's profitability by a massive margin. You literally have to know the local dirt to protect your capital. Let's look at their full-cycle commercial support process. Every single commercial engagement starts with a highly detailed written scope. We're talking the exact asset type, the specific price band, the targeted timeline, and your hard decision criteria. That scope essentially becomes a rigorous filter for buying, selling, leasing, or investing. From there, Mora underwrites every candidate property against realistic rent rules, required capital expenditure assumptions, and current financing costs. They run the comparable rent analyses, they negotiate tenant improvements, and they review those tricky lease clauses so that your operating costs and exit terms are crystal clear way before a single signature hits the paper. I really want to emphasize this powerful statement directly from the source material. Commercial deals may move slowly, but they do not have to move slowly because of the broker.
I mean, we've all felt the pain of waiting days for an email reply when time is quite literally money. Commercial real estate absolutely requires diligence, and yeah, that takes time. But Mora's process is engineered from the ground up to eliminate broker-side bottlenecks entirely. If there is a delay, it's because you're deliberately reviewing crucial data, not because your urgent paperwork got buried at the bottom of a junior assistant's inbox.
Section 4. The No Gatekeeper Guarantee. The absolute differentiator for Mora Realty's boutique practice is their uncompromising communication philosophy. Quote, direct, no gatekeepers, every call and text comes straight to me. This is huge. It sharply contrasts with the industry standard, where you might meet the impressive lead agent exactly once at the listing presentation, only to spend the next 3 months talking to a rotating cast of junior staff who frankly don't know the specifics of your deal. With Mora Realty, you are dealing directly with a licensed professional every single step of the way.
And direct access matters immensely when real money is on the line. When you have a direct line, you know exactly whose expertise is drafting your letter of intent, that initial LOI outlining the basic terms of your deal. You know whose eyes are carefully reviewing the estoppel certificate, which is that crucial document verifying current lease terms and cash flow with existing tenants. When a lease needs to be redlined fast, or a landlord needs an immediate end-of-day decision to secure a space, you aren't waiting for a message to be relayed through 3 different staff members. You get immediate, expert action.
Having their direct line, 954-833-1371, means reaching a licensed Florida real estate agent directly. Response times are typically within 1 single business day, and honestly, very often much sooner, during their operational hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. It's a level of accessibility and direct accountability that's remarkably rare in today's highly delegated, layered real estate environment. Section 5. Making your next move. Just to summarize the immense value here, Mora Realty Hollywood offers you a highly personalized, super hands-on expert. Whether you're buying a single-family home in the historic North Beach neighborhood of Hollywood, leasing a boutique office space across town, or analyzing the rent rolls on a really complex mixed-use commercial property, you are getting clear, honest, and direct advice. And it's all coming from one dedicated professional who intimately understands the local dirt and the complex math behind it. So we'll end this explainer with a pretty provocative question for you to consider. Are you just a number in an assistant's inbox? Or are you working with a local expert who truly understands the cold math and the crucial neighborhood nuances of your next move? If you're navigating the South Florida corridor, the way you answer that question could easily dictate the overall success and profitability of your next investment. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope it gave you a powerful new perspective on evaluating your real estate representation.